Hello, my crafty friends. If you're in my Facebook group, then you've already probably seen the post I did where I posted a video for a DIY watercolor ground that you can make yourself, and a DIY transparent watercolor ground. The first one's white, and then the second video was for a transparent or clear watercolor ground. The one for the transparent watercolor ground required you to buy clear modeling paste, which I didn't even know there was such a thing. But she found some, and she made some transparent watercolor ground with that. Now, the lady who does this is a watercolor artist, and she does watercolor on canvases, and that's why she makes watercolor ground for her big canvases. So I think this should work, considering that she's a watercolor artist and she thinks this works great and uses it herself all the time. But anyway, we're going to try it. I do have Daniel Smith transparent watercolor ground and Daniel Smith gold watercolor ground. And I put these over here. Now, this is still drying, so that's why it's white right now. But the ground has to dry for 24 hours. That's what these say before you use it. So you put it on your surface ahead of time. Anyway, I've got it right here, and I'm going to make some, and we're going to put them over here, and then I'll through the magic of pause, I'll wait 24 hours and let them all dry, and then I'll finish the video by seeing how they work. But right now, what we're going to try to do first is try to make a clear modeling paste in order to make the clear transparent ground. Now, I have some modeling paste that is white, and that's what I'm going to use to make my white watercolor ground, and we will try that too. But I don't have any clear, so I have to make some. But I'm going to try 3 different recipes. One recipe is going to be baby powder and matte medium. I'm using the matte medium where they say to use white acrylic paint for making modeling paste recipes. So anyway, I'm going to use the matte medium instead of the paint, and it's clear, so I'm hoping that will allow me to have a clear modeling paste. And then white glue. So I got the cheap stuff from Dollar Tree, 8 ounces. Well, they're $1.25, I guess now. Jot glue. That's what I'm going to use. And then for the first one, and then for the second one, I'm going to use this Eileen's Premium Decoupage matte and the glue, the Jot glue, and is it? Yeah, and the marble powder. Now, I bought this marble powder a long time ago to make my own gesso with. I have made gesso several times, and I still have a ton of it. It's not really expensive. Well, at least it wasn't when I bought it. It was like $4 or something for 4 pounds, maybe $5. I don't know. I don't know what it is now. I haven't looked it up. But it's this one is Frederick's powdered marble. And I got it off of Amazon. And I'm going to use that along with this decoupage and the Jot glue. The third one, I'm going to use the marble powder and the matte medium, but I'm also going to use Elmer's Glue All instead of the cheap glue. And I'm going to see if that makes it better or worse, or if it makes any difference at all. And all I have for that is a giant bottle, so that's why that's not up on the desk. Anyway, the modeling paste recipes I saw came for, well, I've got 1.5s here, but basically it's 1 part matte medium, 1 part glue, and 2 parts your powder, whether that's baby powder, talc, cornstarch, or the marble dust, whatever it is. You want twice as much of that as you do the other things. And I went ahead and written my recipes on each one of these so that I can remember what's in each one. Okay, that's extra. I'm going to scoot those over. What I need right now is baby powder and matte medium and the chalk glue. Okay, I'm going to move these off the table too because they're taking up a lot of space. And I got these at Dollar Tree to mix this stuff in because what I found were some tiny little tubs to put it in. Then when I found these, I thought I could probably go ahead and just mix it right in here. So I didn't even need these, but I didn't have these when I got those. Okay. Now then, I have these little cups, and I'm probably going to end up, just so I have enough to play with, since I'm making modeling paste, I'm going to play with it other ways as well. So I'm going to make like a double recipe. I'm going to do 2 of these of the glue, 2 of these of the matte medium, and then 4 of the baby powder. We're going to start with the baby powder, and I do not want to try to get baby powder out of this thing into anything through those holes because that aerosolizes it pretty good. So I'm just going to pop off if I can do it. I did it once before. Just pop off this lid, but now it's not wanting to come off. Put it back on too good, I guess. There we go. Okay. That will make it easier, but then I can put it back on. So I saw somebody cut the top off of this once because they couldn't get that off. And I thought, oh, I don't want to do that. So, okay. Oh, well, I don't know. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead. We'll see. I probably can end up with a mess, but I know it shrinks. Whoa! Okay, you didn't see that, right? I don't know how much extra dumped in there, but I'm just going to do that. I'm going to clean off this a little bit. I know that's extra. Okay, so if you're careful, it works well, but if you decide to try to get more to come out quickly, that's not such a good plan. Okay, let me find a brush here that I can do this one too. Okay. Now let me move this a little bit so I can sweep this off into the trash. Okay. I'm going to get a baby wipe and clean that up. There's no sense. Nothing like starting off with a bang, is there? Okay. I'm going to set that aside. And then we're going to do, I think this is the only one I'm doing with baby powder, so I'm going to put that back on and put it out of the way. Yeah, let's put it down here. And then I'm going to do a couple of these. Oh, goodness. Okay, I couldn't get it open for a minute. All right, let's go ahead and do another one. I think I'm going to regret deciding to do this much in this little bowl. But I do know that that powder will incorporate into the matte medium and the glue, and then it will not be, won't take up so much room. So let's stir a little bit before I add the glue. Okay, y'all be smarter than me. I should have gone ahead and done this in my big silver pan there. Okay, now then, we're still going to end up with gluey. Put that there. Let's do this for the glue. Okay, that. Oh, it's got a stopper in it. No wonder it wouldn't come out. I did just have to go buy this because that's not the kind of glue I buy, so I didn't have any. But most everything, all the recipes said, you know, your cheap school glue, so I wanted to try it. Okay. Whoops. I did see one recipe that only used one, you know, used what would be the equivalent of one of these of glue to the other stuff instead of two of these. And I don't understand, you know, what the difference between different recipes is. But I'm going to mix a little bit more here, and we're going to add that other glue. I know I've used this marble paste before with I don't remember if I used matte medium. I mean, if I used matte medium or if I used I used something else instead of white paint just so I could make it clear. Maybe it was matte medium. Maybe I just did the glue in the marble dust. I don't remember. It's been a while. This is taking a bit to mix. I'm not going to do this much of the other, I guess. The other ones, that just didn't seem like it would be enough to do anything if I just used 4 of those. But 4 of those, you know, meaning 1 glue, 1 matte medium, and 2 powder would have been fine. So I'll do that with the other ones. But okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the glue because it was part of the recipe for this one. And maybe it'll make the maybe the powder will incorporate better. I don't know. I only made gesso once using baby powder. I've always used that marble dust, and I can't really remember because that was back years ago, and I don't remember. I do know I made clear gesso that truly was clear, dried clear, and I was amazed by that using the marble dust, even though it doesn't look like it could possibly dry clear. Okay, I think I shouldn't have added that last bit of glue because now it's thinner than I really want it to be modeling paste. There's also a lot of that powder that's still a little bit clumpy. You can see it's got little clumps. And I'm trying to use this and smash it down, you know, as I do it on the bottom, hoping that that will break some of those clumps up. Anyway, I'm going to pause the video so y'all don't have to watch me stir for 20 minutes. And I'll be back after I get this stirred up. Okay. I've got this where I think it's pretty good. But I did have to take some of it out and add more of the baby powder to it. And I didn't even measure it. I just dumped it in there. So my advice to you would be you just work it and add it until it gets to the thickness that you like. So this is a thickness I like. So I'm going to put a little bit of it on here. Just so we can see how it turns out. And this is I'm going to call this number 1. Okay. And we'll just let that dry, and we'll see if it dries clear. I don't know. I don't know if it will or not. I'm going to go ahead and put this lid on here. That should keep this nice and, you know, where I can use it without it drying out on me. That's my hope. Okay. All right, the next one is the marble powder, and I have this tied up here. I didn't think I did it very tight. I was trying not to make it too hard to get open. I need to put this into a jar of some kind just so it'll be easier to get to. I guess I can actually cut this off now that I've got this down here that tells where it is as well as what's on top. That's just in the way. Makes it hard for me to dip out my stuff. Okay. Okay, come on. The bag just kind of gets in the way. Okay, I'm going to let this sit over here because I'm going to use it again in a minute. But this is the marble dust. Okay, and then on the for this one, we're going to use the Eileen's Decoupage. Didn't realize I hadn't opened that. Isn't that terrible? You buy something, you don't remember when you bought it, but you never even opened it. That's pretty bad. Okay. This is, I don't know if it's even good in here. Maybe I got this at the thrift store. I don't know. There's stuff in there that, I mean, all crusty and stuff. It makes you wonder. It didn't have a thrift store tag on it or anything, but okay. And it has kind of separated. So I'm gonna put the lid back on it, and I'm gonna shake it up, see if I can get it to. We may end up doing it all with regular matte medium instead of this if it won't homogenize. I'm gonna pause a minute. Okay, and I'm gonna. Okay, I'm not going to do a full cup of this because we don't want it to be fully half of, we had to add extra powder last time, I guess is what I'm saying, when I did it half and half. So we're not going to go quite half and half. And then same thing here. Of course, this is marble dust and not, let me clean that off too. It's marble dust and not baby powder, so it might act differently, I guess is what I'm saying. They're not. I think they're pretty much interchangeable, but okay, this actually feels more like when I've mixed up texture paste before. And I don't know if it's the amount I used or if it's the marble dust versus the talcum powder, or if it's Eileen's instead of matte medium, or I don't know. Okay. We're going to need a little bit more of the powder anyway. To get it the way I want it. And if you kind of fold it in to begin with, you don't have powder flying out everywhere. Now this marble dust doesn't come flying out near as much as the talcum powder did. I mean the baby powder. And that's one reason I like working with it. Plus I think it incorporates easier. All right, still need a little bit more. Fold it in. Okay. I think that's good. Oh, I forgot. I need to put some of this over here. And we're going to call this one number 2. Okay. And I'm going to put number 2 here. And the amounts, I'm going to know that that didn't work out amount-wise, and that I had to add more marble dust, so I'm not worrying about changing that on the deal. Mostly I want to know what the ingredients are, not necessarily how much. Okay. There we go. It's number 2. Whoops. I need to tape this thing down or something. I'm always getting it tangled up. I've got one taped down onto a board, but right now that board is being used as a as a table. I'll put it on top of my trash can, use it as a table. So, okay. This is the De La Rowney matte medium, the marble powder, and Elmer's glue all. Okay, this time I'm just going to go ahead and start out doing 3 of these to 1 of each of the others, or mostly 3. It's probably not quite 3, but it's kind of packed, and so probably if it was fluffed, it would be at least 3. Okay. And now I'm going to do one matte medium. And one Elmer's glue ball. Alrighty. And we're going to start by folding it in. And you watched me mess up. Well, you watched me do that too, but you watched me mix up the other 2, so I'm going to pause the camera while I mix this one. Okay, you guys probably realized this before I did, because I was putting the lid on it when I remembered I was supposed to use Elmer's glue ball, and I used this instead. So, this is not number 3. This is just a second batch of number 2, I guess. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it alone. And I'm not even going to put I'm not going to put any of it on my thing, you know, to test it. I put this clear watercolor ground on pretty thick, so you might not want to put it that thick, because it didn't seem to go completely clear. And this is the Daniel Smith stuff here. Now these are still not dry. So far neither one of them look like they're going to be clear, but we're going to let it sit and we're going to see what happens. And I have the stuff to make the white watercolor ground, and so I'm going to just go ahead and do that. What does it call for? Let's see here. 1 part modeling paste, 3 parts gesso. Oh, well, I'm not going to do that yet. Yeah, I am, because I have modeling paste here. I was going to say, no, I've got to let those dry and see if either one of them comes out clear. Okay. Oh, my modeling paste died. Wow. Okay, use your stuff, y'all. I mean, literally, I can't even get a thing in there. Okay, well, that's a shame, because now I can't use it. I guess we'll have to make some white modeling paste. So let's put this back up and make a, oh, yeah, I need to fix that. Okay, let's move that over here. And where's my pen? I need to write on this. White modeling paste. And okay, 1 part powder. I'm going to go ahead and use the marble dust. And I'm going to say 1/3 part white paint. and 1/3 part glue. Okay. Where's my other bowl? Here it is. No. Here it is. I knew I had one more. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me find some white paint real quick, so I won't have to run off looking for that when I'm ready. Okay, I know I had some white. Now all I can find are creams. Okay, I'm going to pause a minute. Okay, I found some white Craft Smart paint from Michael's, so that's what I'm going to use. Let's put the powder in first. Okay, I'm going to add, since we've had to add more to everything else, I'm going to add a little bit there. Okay. And then we're going to use, I'm just going to squirt some paint in there. And we're going to say that's about enough. Okay, and then some of the glue. Since we had to remeasure everything anyway later, I'm going to just, we're going to go with this, and that may not have been enough glue. I may have to add some more. I didn't put quite as much of that as I did the paint. Okay, I'm going to stir them all, and I'm going to let y'all not have to watch that. Okay. There is a difference when you use matte medium or you use white paint. In the way it mixes and how it feels and everything. This is more like what I'm used to when I made modeling paste. Anyway, we're going to use it now to make the white watercolor ground. And I did make it pretty heavy. I'm going to go ahead and use about that much. Now, I'm eyeballing it. That's not the best way to go. It's not the best way to go, but that's what I'm doing. So this is not a tutorial. This is what I'm doing. Okay, this is, no, that's clear. Here's gesso. And I think this is just Liquitex gesso. I can't remember. I can't remember. But we're going to need about 3 times as much as that. So probably should just take the lid off and pour it out bigger. But anyway. And I know y'all are saying measuring really probably does work better, and it probably does. It probably does. But you saw how well the measuring worked for me when I was making the modeling paste, so. Okay, that's mixing up pretty nicely. Okay, that actually probably looks pretty, it feels pretty good to me. Let's clean this up a little bit. And I do want to go ahead and paint some of this homemade white watercolor ground here. I'll say DIY white. Okay. Here's my brush. I'm putting it next to these because I want to see how this reacts with the watercolors compared to how these react with the watercolors. And we're going to let that dry. Let me put the lid on this. Okay. Now this is that one. It's still not dry, and you can see it's not really clear, but it's not white either. I don't know if either one of those are gonna, and I may have made it too thick because when you paint this on here, it's not gonna be that thick. But I don't know. This may not even work, y'all. Trying to make clear watercolor ground may not even work. I mean, clear modeling paste. There may be something else that they use besides the things that we use for DIY modeling paste or texture paste when they make a clear modeling paste. But I don't know what's in it. So, okay. I'm going to let all these things dry, and then it'll only be a second for you, but it'll probably be tomorrow for me. I will come back and decide which one of these to use to make my clear watercolor ground. Now, the only reason I want clear is because I want to put it over book pages. And if I'm going to put it over book pages, I want the book pages to show. And that's why when I bought watercolor ground, I bought clear, transparent. I am thinking that because this gesso is clear, if it's mixed with one of these, that will definitely tone down the white that's in them, just from the marble powder and the baby powder. So this one's baby powder, this one's marble powder. This one's definitely looking whiter than that one. But I am thinking that when you mix it with clear gesso, it will become, even if it's not perfectly clear, transparent enough we can see our book pages through it, I hope. Because that's what I'm really wanting it for. And I think it'd be fun if y'all wanted to make some. So, okay, be back in a little bit. Okay, these are clear, still not completely dry, but this is clearly not as white as this one. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to go ahead and mix up my try at clear watercolor ground and paint it right here. And that way, once it's dried, then I can come back and test everything. All right, let's move that aside for right now. Okay, so it's one part clear water modeling paste, and this is the one I chose to use. Right, Yeah. Okay. And I don't know. I think I'm going to try to be a little bit closer to and that I didn't completely fill that up, so I'm going to add a little bit more. But this way I can use three of these of the gesso, and we'll be we should be better as far as it being oh, okay, just a second. This is definitely not a, I don't know why those are sitting there. This is definitely not a neat project, and it's definitely not being neat for me. Let's just do this. That'll be easier. And one more. Okay. Let me see if I can clean this out a little bit. It's not great, but it's better. Okay, now we're going to stir this up. It's funny how the marble is so white, and this talcum powder, I mean this baby powder, is really gray. That's weird. Anyway. Clean this up a little bit here. Okay, let's move all these piles away and get my brush out. Okay. Alrighty. Oh no. Okay. Sorry, put the wrong lid on. I thought I used the wrong stuff, but I didn't. I just put the wrong lid on. Okay. No, that's white. Okay, I really did mess something up here. Okay. That's the clear watercolor ground. that is the white. Okay, good grief. This is the clear modeling paste, or supposedly clear modeling paste that we're hoping to do something. Okay, now then, we're going to let everything dry, and I'll be back in just a second for you, and we'll see what we can do with this. Okay, well, I let these dry, and I intended to get out here this morning or early this afternoon and finish this part and get it up, by like 6 o'clock tonight. Instead, it's probably going to go up at like 11 o'clock tonight because I got busy doing other stuff, and then we had some thunderstorms. And so anyway, this is my Daniel Smith gold ground. This is my Daniel Smith transparent or clear. They call it transparent. I called it clear. You can see it's not completely clear. This is my homemade white and my clear. Now it's cloudy, so I would say it's not clear, it's transparent. Meaning surely you can see through it, but anyway, sorry. It's so nice outside after the rain that I just left the door open. We didn't get a lot of rain, but every little bit I'm happy with. We were supposed to get all this hail, which didn't come, thankfully, but anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint, put like water in a circle, or, put water on each of these, and then put some paint on there and see how they move and interact with each other. It's a brand new brush, so it had some stiffener in it. And I'm just going to do them one at a time. And I guess we'll start with this one. And so I'm just going to put water on it. And then I'm going to mix, put some color. I'm going to do the same thing here. Let's just go ahead and go with. Okay. And we will see how this, how my homemade stuff compares to those. Well, so far it feels about the same. Okay. Well, it all floats on top and doesn't, immediately soak through the paper, which is a good sign. And mine seems to do as well as these did, which surprises me. I'm going to dry it a little bit and see what happens. I just realized one thing I didn't do. I've got this caught underneath this gorgeous. Okay. One thing I didn't do was put any on just plain paper to see how that compares with these. So I need to do that. Okay. Now these are drying some, and you can see they did some blending and some outlining and stuff like you would expect watercolor to do. The gold didn't do as much of that, but I noticed that when I worked on it before. But I kind of like the looks of the ones I made. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's dry them a little bit more. Okay. I'm gonna find a paper towel. Oh, there we go. And I'm gonna dab where it's dry. Woo, that came up good. Did you see that? Wow. Okay. Well, nothing came up there. That came up good on the gold, and this is not, this was too dry. So let's turn it over and see on the back. Okay. This one came through some. This one came through some. This one did a lot. So the white and the gold both came through some. But I may not have put as much of those on there as I did I know I did put a good amount of this one. And I did a pretty good amount of the white. But anyway, I think that they're any of those are more usable than nothing. And I would be happy to use mine, my white and my translucent, as happy as I am with these. Now, I'm not, I don't know much, and I haven't done much with them. So, I might find out in working with them that that's different. And I think what I'm going to do is put some of each one of these on a book page. Actually, I'm just going to do I'm just going to do each one of these on a book page. And then tomorrow, when we start our deal, I will paint on them and we'll see what happens. But they need to sit for 24 hours. So, overnight. So anyway, I think this is a positive result. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Well, let's just get out some book pages and do it real quick right here, and then you can see the result tomorrow night. Where's I have a book I was pulling pages out of earlier. Okay. I'm just gonna take a couple of pages out of here. This is very old brittle paper. So, okay. All right, let's get the Daniel Smith. And let's write that down so I don't forget. Okay. Well, I just went and got my car out from under the overpass. Everybody else was going and getting theirs too, because we were supposed to get all that hail and we didn't. And now I'm hearing thunder again. I may wish I had left it. Okay, there's that. And you can see how clear that is from the beginning. This might be whiter, you know, at the beginning. I don't know. We'll see. All right, clear watercolor ground. Okay. Put this down here. This is thicker than that. It goes on. It feels just about the same going on, though. Okay. Now we'll let these dry. And Monday, May the 2nd, just in case you're watching this later, on my live stream, we will the first thing we'll do is test these two and see how they compare, and we'll let them just air dry instead of drying them with a heat gun, because it is different when you dry watercolor with a heat gun and when you don't. So I'll see you then. God bless you. Bye-bye.